Hello and welcome to another fun episode of Daddykirbs live here on Saturday morning on the Daddykirbs farm. The barn that's going on that foundation is going in. Well, it's not going in. It's starting Monday. Technically, it's already been started because I went out and marked the concrete with all the markings for where the perimeter boards, I don't know all the technical names, and the anchors are going to go. So we are underway. Got a little canopy set up over here for the shade and a place to sit and rest and drink tea and lemonade, so we don't have to endure the heat as much. And I'm getting ready to sneeze. All better? All right. Hey, good morning. So this is a Saturday morning live show. If you're new here, thank you for the bless you. This is a time where we join as a family to gather and to interact. And I might sneeze again. Maybe. Normally it's 3, but we'll see at what it is. Hopefully it's just the one. The Saturday morning live show is a place where we are, those of us who enjoy this content, gather together and just have a fun time sharing with each other. Excuse me. So one of the things that we like to do when we start these shows is to express our phrase, our declaration of importance, our value, which is that everyone has a story and every story counts, which leads us to our pledge. On Saturday mornings, we join together, we sit up straight, we put our hand on our chest, and we declare to the universe and to ourselves that my story counts because I count. Little pause there so you can reflect on that for just a second. Your story counts because you count. I believe every one of us has value, and I'm glad that you are here to share my story with me this morning, and I can share with whatever you guys share in the chat. It seems that often the best part of the show is in the chat. This will be a shorter show this morning because we have we're going to be joining with a family. A dear friend of ours passed away this past week, and so we're going to be joining with them this morning. So that's we're going to be starting. So if somebody would be kind to share with me when it's 9:30, and I can get this show wrapped up. So anyway, so we do have a few things to talk about. I'm very excited about the barn that is coming up. We're going to be starting that. My 2 boys are going to be with me. Love the rooster. Yeah, the rooster is right behind over here. Hey, Mr. Rooster. Go ahead, give us another crow. Go ahead. Thank you. All right. Hey, and pardon me, Julie's starting the morning out. Sometimes I slip back into my teenage days. Julie starting the morning out with $5.99. Bless you. Me too in the Sacramento Valley morning, y'all. So the beanbags don't always represent a squirrel or a super chat, but it's been fun the last few weeks doing that. So let's see if I can get one on the board. No. Sorry, Julie. All right. Yeah. So that rooster is our Americana rooster, and he's been a pretty good rooster. I think he's got kind of an awkward crow, but he's pretty good. That one was more awkward. He's probably just going to sit there and crow for the entire show this morning. So the barn, it seems that the roosters, they get into these competitions. One will crow and they all have to follow along, and they just do that for 10 or 15 minutes. You can hear them in the background too. The barn came with what they call instructions, and I'm not really sure there's so much instructions as just drawings. Come on, Mr. Rooster. Give me a break here. I was kind of hoping the barn would come with sort of step 1, step 2 kind of instructions. Kind of like when you're putting a kid's toy together, but they didn't. I think they expect that people who are building this barn understand how to read these drawings, and I do for the most part, but I'm sitting back so I can show you. That's my barn. Also, the additional pages include different views of the barn. There's a side view. There's a front view. That's pretty neat. All right, let's see. I have specs on the layout. That shows where the windows and doors and the cupolas and all that are going to go. That's pretty exciting. Let's see what else we got. The concrete, that's a boring page. And that's already done. So here is a drawing of the structure itself, the frame. That's very exciting. Just for those of you interested in what this barn is going to be built like, here's a big cross section showing the framework. Let's see what else we got here. Some details on windows, doors, cupolas, joining the different pieces. And that's pretty much it. I thought you guys might be interested in seeing some of those pages. Got to try to keep these papers safe, or else I won't have any way of knowing how to put this barn together. It came with a few smaller printouts, but it's kind of the same thing. I opened the box this week. The box that it came with 2 crates. One of the crates came with this tube of instructions, and the other crate, well, in that crate was a lot of hardware along with this tube of instructions. Also, the other crate has windows and vents, so it'll be really exciting to see when that opens up what those windows and vents look like. All right, let's see here. Trish loves dogs. Good morning, Kate, Karen, kicking it. Oh, I didn't share my moment of gratitude. Big gratitude. A thank you moment to my moderators who keep this show going and family friendly. A big thank you to my financial supporters or patrons, either through Patreon or PayPal or sometimes a check in the mail. Also, the squirrels here in the show, they all contribute to keeping the show financially supported and going, and you know, that way I can purchase the equipment and things that I need to keep the show on. Also, a big thank you to you, just the followers, my family members, my supporters. What do you call them? Subscribers. Yes, a big thank you to all of you, because without an audience, I would just be sitting here talking to myself, and that would be silly. All right, let's see. What do we got here? IKEA barn. Yeah, kind of. Brian Morgan from the UK. It's cold with rain here. Looking good in the sunshine. Yes, it's very warm right here. We're in Texas, South Central Texas, and yesterday I was out with my son on that concrete pad marking, and I got to tell you, when it's hot, I'm fine because I like the heat, but when you're working directly over a reflective rock like that, it is amplified, and it was after an hour of running string lines and chalk, we were done. So it's going to be a very interesting time to be building a barn. I was hoping to have this barn done before June, June, July, and August here in Texas. Those are the months that most people just hunker down inside because it's so hot. But we're going to be building a barn. We're going to see how that goes. Hey, what is that? Kilter Gardner. Happy birthday. My goodness. That is too much, Mr. Robert, but thank you very much. That's a $50 squirrel right there. Let's see what we can do here. Man, shift my body a little bit. Woo! Squirrel. See, I wasn't watching. I was busy showing pictures. So Liz Zorb from Byther Farm, thank you for showing up here this morning. I got to share with you guys. This morning, I noticed that Liz had put out her podcast. And so a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, she and Hugh Richards and I enjoyed a conversation right after a live show. We just pulled up whatever program it was where we recorded the call and had a conversation, and that turned into a podcast. And Liz put that out this morning on her Gardening Demystified YouTube channel, and probably, I'm guessing, other places where you can listen to podcasts. But that was a really fun conversation. I do encourage you after this show to go over and take a listen to her podcast, check out her channel, because they're doing a lot of great things over there in the UK. Karen, sending prayers during the build. It looks complicated. You know, I don't think it's that complicated. There are a few details that are probably a little bit complicated, but I think for the most part, with me and my two boys and the fact that I have some building experience in the past, I think we're going to get through it. I do wish that it was a time when we could have 20 men out here. I say men, it could be women too. 20 people out here, all looking at the instructions and figuring out what part we can do and make a barn raising party. But such are the times. We're not gathering like that. But can you interpret the specs? I sure hope so. All right. Yeah, I hope everything is there too. Yesterday I was going around with the order sheet. I was looking at the plans, looking at the order sheet, and then walking through. I have all the lumber stacked up. Let's see what side. They would be on this side over here. You can't see it. It's behind the greenhouse up on a hill. But so what am I saying? So I was looking for a particular stack of lumber to know that that's going to be the first stack that I break down and bring onto the slab, because it's going to be the part that is the sill plate, with, basically the perimeter that gets anchored to the foundation, and then we build on that. So I was looking for those, and I couldn't find them. And finally, I did. And wouldn't you know, that the stack of lumber that I need first is in the very back on the very bottom. That wasn't very good planning. But if you watched the day that the lumber arrived on the trucks, I didn't really have it in my mind to take the time to figure out. Plus, I didn't have the plans, so I really didn't even know. But it would have been nice to have the plans early. I think maybe they did send me a PDF. So I can't pin this on them. But anyway, I didn't have the mindset to figure out which stacks, which pallets should go in first. Basically, the last to be placed would be the first to be put onto the slab. Anyway, that didn't happen. Planning and organization are not my strong suits. Just, you guys probably know that. All right, let's see, what else we got here? Yes, thank you, Happy, for that little plug there. 20 plus years of pain gone. You can check that out. Big boy erector set. Yep. I had an erector set as a child, and that was a lot of fun. Probably not the best toy to give little children because I had lots of little nuts and bolts, but a lot of fun anyway. Yeah. Life with a Table Full says, I know heat on the deck of a ship in the summer in the Indian Ocean. Hey, Brian Morgan is a beekeeper. I think we met before. Happy got his Building with Brian t-shirt. Yay! Building with Brian, a friend, a channel, and they are doing great things on their channel, and they gave away a t-shirt here. Yes, do go check out Liz Zorab's podcast and channel. I am way behind. A good old barn raising is what's needed. That's right, I wish. Yes, I would take some dandelion seeds. Sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling through. Life with a Table Full. When are you raising it? Starting Monday. I'm bringing my boys, or my boys are showing up, and we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna do a lot of actual building on Monday. We're probably gonna do more of planning, getting our game plan together. The equipment for raising the boards up high, the machine that's going to lift those up, will be arriving first thing Wednesday morning. So Monday and Tuesday is going to be a lot of breaking down pallets and organizing, being prepared so that when that machine arrives, we're going to be ready to just start putting things together. We're going to be figuring out which tools we best need, and like I said, organizing the lumber, organizing the hardware, making sure that we all understand the lumber, the codes that they put on the lumber and the hardware. Basically 2 days of planning, and then Wednesday morning when the machine gets here, we're going to be hitting it hard, because I took 2 weeks off of my day job. I'm on vacation, and what I'm hoping for is that at the very least, the main structure for the barn is up by the time I go back to work. And then because I think after that, I will be able to do some of the detail work, putting on siding and things like that as I go, maybe in the evenings. But I have 2 weeks to get that main structure put up. It may go up faster than I think, but I'm allowing for the ups and downs of life, maybe, because I don't have a professional crew. It's me and my 2 boys. So we'll see. I do want to make sure that I get that $2. I said $2 because I just saw this super chat raise up by $2. Who was that? I got to scroll down to the bottom to see who that was. How are the bees? The bees are hanging in there great. They really are. The last time I was out there, you saw in the video where the nuke was not quite as productive as we were hoping, so I left it for a while. Several people in the comments mentioned that I need to give them another frame of brood from one of the other hives. I haven't done that yet, but even in that day when I was beekeeping and recording that last video, I was thinking I just in my mind, I was thinking I could give them some more resources, but I didn't, because I was kind of struggling in my mind with, is that the right thing to do or not? And normally, in all of my videos, the people in the comments let me know where I should have and shouldn't have done things. But that's going to happen no matter what. So next time, we'll hopefully that nuke is building up on its own. But if not, we'll put some more brood in there. And I am way behind. There it is, kicking it with Karen for the iced tea and lemonade you will need. Thank you very much. We're gonna need some drinks for sure. Man, I am just off a little bit. I'm on workcation, yes. lots of good chat this morning. Like I said, it's going to be a short show. My apologies, but I'm happy to be here with you for the short time we have this morning. There's a few things. Really, I've already mentioned most of everything that I wrote notes on, but I just to pause in life, I want to mention, they always say take time to smell the roses, right? Well, the other day, I was walking by the garden. Those of you who follow along probably know that right inside my garden gate is a beautiful rose bush. That rose bush started, let me give you a little history of that rose bush. Someone gave us a rose. I think it was given to us. I might not have this part of the story completely right. Anyway, so somehow we got a rose bush, and it was in a pot, not a very big pot, probably 3 gallons, not huge. And that rose bush was growing okay in that pot, and it was placed right inside the garden gate, right when you walk in to the right-hand side. Those of you who have seen my garden will understand how that works, even in the videos. And one day I thought, that rose is not doing really well right there. I want to move it. So I moved the pot, and it was a kind of a struggle because the rose had grown its roots down through the center hole of the pot. The potting terracotta pots, they have that center hole. So I broke it off, and I moved the rose to another location. And from that root, this rose started growing again. And man, I'm starting to feel like this could be an analogy to life even. But in a pot, restricted, and got broken. And once that pot was moved, that rose came up and is now probably 3.5, 4 feet wide, all the way around, and as tall. And the roses that grow on that are so beautiful. People have asked me, please propagate that rose so that I can have that in my garden as well. And I haven't yet been successful propagating that rose. I'm thinking I need to get some growing in a pot and put it in the ground and break it off again. But anyway, the other day I walked by the garden and I smelled something. It was gorgeous. It was sweet. And I realized I was smelling all those roses. So I stood there for a second, just taking that in and watching the number of insects and things that were gathering around that rose. There was a little lizard that was on the fence right next to the rose, and just all kinds of life gathering around that rose. And it was just a beautiful moment. And I thought, this is one of those times when in the course of a journey, when you are working a piece of land and you have things that develop over time, and that rose bush developed in my garden with its own story, and in that moment, I just felt truly blessed to be a part of that rose's story and for it to be a part of mine. And I just thought that was for me, it was just a beautiful moment. I wanted to share that with you guys. Mr. Happy, as Karen said, for all the refreshments you will need for that Texas heat. Thank you very much, Happy. Let's see here. Man, I keep shooting. I need to shift my body. And live with the 200 knock. Oh my. That beanbag came with a little friend. I shouldn't throw it to the chickens after I called it a friend. Let's see. Ooh, I hit the board. Thank you, all of you who are supporting this morning with the squirrels. It's a lot of fun. And you really are helping, because I don't want to make a big deal about it, because I am truly blessed to have this barn being built. But it is pushing the limit of our budget, like beyond the limit of our budget. We don't like to take loans out, and we did have to take a loan for that. The Luke update, Julie, thank you for reminding me. We have only a few minutes left. Luke is doing really well right now. We're keeping up with the normal stuff, but he is talking, he's smiling. Every day he is getting feistier, and He doesn't let up when, you know, I told you last week, I think it was, that he likes to know what's going on tomorrow. And so normally he'll ask, and he's a little persistent, but lately he's been extremely persistent. He will not let whatever's happening in the moment, he has to pause, because we need to come up with a really good plan. We've even gotten to the point to where we write down a list of things that are happening tomorrow so that he can be satisfied. And sometimes he'll say, read the list. It's really funny. All right, beautiful. It's been it's been a long journey with the barn so far. It feels like a long journey because excuse me. You know, we started out with the dream, and then we had to clear that area. There was a lot of scrub, several large mesquite trees like this one behind us here that had to come out. I tried to save some of that, but because I had so much at one time, unfortunately, I don't even have to admit this, but unfortunately, we did burn a lot of that. That doesn't make me happy, but we did. And so we got that cleared up, and the barn that was back there, the lean-to structure that was back there, had to come down. The electricity needed turned off, and the little electricity box that was standing there needed to come out. There's just a lot of little steps that have brought us to this point, not to mention all the work that it took to dig the foundation hole, and the money that it took to fill up that foundation hole. It's really amazing the what it cost even before foundation forms go up. Now, it didn't have to cost that much, because some people would have said, just scrape the land and build it. But the problem is, because we have very expansive clay soil, thank you, Kate. We have very expansive clay soil. If I would not have prepared it the way I did by extracting all that clay soil and putting in that gravel and compacting it, what we would have had would have been a foundation that would have had a very high likelihood of cracking and breaking because of how the clay soil moves over time. So all of that work getting to this point, Texas Barn Dominiums came out and worked with us to get that concrete put in. They did a beautiful job, even with the hiccups that they had, the barn drama, the foundation drama. It turned out beautiful, and now it's all marked and ready to go, and we're going to be sorting and organizing Monday and Tuesday, and hopefully hitting it real hard starting Wednesday, putting boards up. I'm going to try to get a lot of video about that. It's going to be a little difficult, because as we build and record, the recording part is going to slow down the building, and it's going to be kind of difficult to be the creator and manager and builder all at the same time. And so we'll see what we can do. I do hope to put the GoPro up and get at the very least, I do hope that we can get a time lapse of the entire process. I do have a time lapse. So who said I need tacos? So do I, Eric. So do I. Yeah, we do have a time lapse of the foundation being built. That hasn't been put out yet on YouTube. What I'm kind of hoping for is that we need we're going to get a time lapse of from beginning of foundation all the way to the finish of the barn, and we'll see. I don't know. I need a bigger SD card for the GoPro, because the day that we did the foundation, the 32 gig SD card was not quite enough to finish the day. Not we got enough, but I think I'm going to get a 64 or a 128 card for the GoPro. All right. You guys are beautiful and wonderful, and I truly do love being a part of this community with you. The Daddykirbs family group is growing, and it's been a lot of fun to see you guys interact with each other there and share stories. Please do that. I'm not a very good community leader, really, because I don't have lots of time to contribute and be a part all the time. But I do like jumping in and adding a little bit here and there and watching you guys interact. So do join the family if you're interested in that. A 1 terabyte SD card, that's ridiculous. I wonder if you can even do a terabyte on one of those, the micros. That would be crazy. It'd be pretty cool, but crazy. Yes, 9:30. I'm gonna have to get off here. So you guys, like I said, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. Everyone has a story. Every story counts. I believe your story counts because you count. Homegrown vegetable gardening, you're new here. Unfortunately, this morning, thank you for being here, but this morning is a shorter show. I have somewhere to be. We try to make this an entire hour, but I'm cutting it short this morning. But you guys, your story counts. That's it. Yep, that's it. Love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.